Have you ever felt that chilling breeze of disrespect from friends, family, or even strangers? The slight in their tone, the dismissive look in their eyes, or the cold shoulder when you walk into a room. It's a feeling that gnaws at your self-esteem, leaving you wondering, what did I do wrong? But here's an unsettling thought. What if the answer lies in what you're doing to yourself, and not what others may be doing to you? It's easy to blame others, but the cold, hard truth might be that you're engaging in habits that are subconsciously signaling to people that it's okay to disrespect you. It's a harsh realization, and it might be difficult to swallow, but understanding this truth is the first step towards commanding the respect you deserve. What if I tell you that by identifying and shedding these awful habits, you could transform the way people perceive and treat you? In this eye-opening exploration, we're going to uncover the 4 most destructive habits that could be making people disrespect you, even without them realizing it. And more importantly, you'll discover how to turn things around. Ready to dive into this vital self-discovery? Your self-respect depends on it. We'll be drawing on the teachings of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that offers timeless advice for living a virtuous and fulfilling life. Stoicism is about more than just enduring hardships with a stiff upper lip. It's about cultivating inner peace, integrity, and resilience. So let's dive into these habits. Habit number 1, playing the victim. Let's address playing the victim. This is a tough one because life can be genuinely unfair, and bad things happen to good people. But constantly seeing yourself as a victim can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. I once had a colleague, let's call her Laura, who always seemed to be at the center of some drama. Whenever something went wrong, it was never her fault. Missed deadlines were due to her team's incompetence, not her lack of organization. Personal conflicts were always because others were out to get her. One day, she was passed over for a promotion. Instead of reflecting on what she could improve, she blamed office politics and favoritism. This constant victim mentality eroded her relationships with colleagues and supervisors. People started to see her as someone who refused to take responsibility for her own life. The Stoics teach us to accept what we cannot change and focus on our own actions and responses. As Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Playing the victim strips you of your agency and makes you dependent on others for your happiness and success. It's important to acknowledge hardships, but also to take ownership of your actions and their consequences. When you stop playing the victim, you empower yourself to change your circumstances. People respect those who face adversity with courage and resilience, not those who constantly seek sympathy. Habit number 2, being unreliable. Let's talk about being unreliable. This one hits home for a lot of people, and it's a habit that can seriously erode respect. Reliability is foundational to any relationship, whether personal or professional. If people can't count on you, they'll quickly lose respect for you. I once had a friend named Adam. In his early 20s, Adam was known among his friends as the flaky one. He would make plans and then cancel at the last minute, or just not show up at all. He thought it was no big deal. Life is busy, right? But one incident really opened his eyes. A close friend of his, Grace, was throwing a birthday party. She had gone all out, planning for weeks and organizing every detail. Adam promised he'd be there, but on the day of the party, he got caught up in something else and decided not to go. He didn't even bother to let her know until hours after the event had started. When he finally called her, he could hear the disappointment in her voice. She didn't say much, but he knew he'd let her down. Their friendship was never quite the same after that. She stopped inviting him to things, and they drifted apart. Being unreliable tells people that your word means nothing. If you say you'll do something, do it. If you promise to be somewhere, be there. It's about showing that you respect other people's time and effort. Another example is from my professional life. Early in his career, a colleague named Alex had a habit of overcommitting and under-delivering. He'd agree to take on projects and then miss deadlines, often without warning. He thought his charm and excuses would smooth things over, but he was wrong. During a performance review, his manager laid it out for him. She said, "You have potential, but if I can't rely on you, none of that matters." That was a wake-up call. Reliability isn't just about showing up, it's about being dependable in all aspects of life. The Stoics emphasize the importance of integrity and keeping one's word. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." This principle is at the heart of reliability. If you commit to something, see it through. If you can't, be honest about it up front. People respect those who are dependable, and they lose respect quickly for those who are not. Moving on to habit number 3, negativity. Let's discuss negativity. This one is tricky because we all have bad days. However, constant negativity can be incredibly draining and off-putting. I remember working with someone who always found the negative in every situation. Let's call him Mike. No matter what the topic, Mike had something negative to say. New project? It'll never work. Office party? It's going to be boring. At first we laughed it off, but over time, his negativity became a cloud hanging over the entire team. It affected morale and people started avoiding him. I tried to talk to him about it, but he just shrugged it off, saying he was being realistic. The Stoics teach us to focus on what we can control and to maintain a positive outlook despite external circumstances. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Constant negativity not only drags you down, but also affects those around you. It creates an environment where people feel demoralized and unmotivated. Instead of complaining about what you can't change, focus on what you can. Embrace challenges as opportunities for growth. A positive attitude can inspire and uplift others, making you someone people want to be around. Finally, habit number 4, gossiping. Let's get real about gossiping. It's one of those habits that almost everyone indulges in, but no one wants to admit to. I once knew a person named Karen. She had a habit of gossiping about everyone in our social circle. At first, it felt harmless, even fun. It made everyone feel connected, like they were in on some exclusive secret. But the truth is, gossiping is a toxic habit that can destroy trust and respect. There was this girl in our group, let's call her Jane. She was a bit different, quirky, introverted, and didn't always fit in. One day, Karen found out Jane had a crush on a guy who was, let's say, way out of her league. Instead of keeping that information to herself, Karen shared it with her friends. They laughed about it, and the story spread like wildfire. It wasn't long before Jane found out what had been said. The look on her face when she realized her personal feelings had become a joke was heartbreaking. She stopped coming around and eventually left the group entirely. At the time, Karen brushed it off, but deep down, she must have known she'd crossed a line. The Stoics, like Epictetus, teach us to focus on our own character and not meddle in the affairs of others. When you gossip, you're not only wasting time, but also poisoning the well of trust. Keep silence for the most part, and speak only when you must, and then briefly, Epictetus advised. Gossiping erodes trust. When you engage in gossip, people start to wonder what you say about them behind their backs. It creates an environment of suspicion and betrayal. Another incident happened to Jake, a co-worker at my first job. He was incredibly diligent, but a bit of a loner. One day, someone found out through the grapevine that Jake had a pretty serious health issue. Instead of respecting his privacy, this person told a few colleagues, thinking it would make for an interesting conversation. Jake found out, of course. He confronted the person, not angrily, but with a look of deep hurt and disappointment. He said he trusted them with that information, thinking they would be discreet. From that day on, their working relationship was never the same. Trust and respect were lost, and it was entirely that person's fault. This experience taught me a critical lesson. Respect other people's privacy. Everyone has their battles and vulnerabilities. By turning someone's personal life into fodder for conversation, you not only disrespect them, but also reveal a lack of integrity in yourself. The Stoics believed in uplifting and constructive conversations. Instead of gossiping, focus on positive dialogue that builds people up rather than tearing them down. Remember, if someone is willing to gossip to you, they're just as likely to gossip about you. So there you have it. 4 toxic habits that can make people lose respect for you: playing the victim, being unreliable, negativity, and gossiping. By recognizing and addressing these behaviors, you can build stronger, more respectful relationships. The Stoics offer timeless wisdom on how to live a virtuous and fulfilling life, emphasizing integrity, responsibility, and positive action. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification button. Until next time.